The time has arrived.
What's going on, everybody? Jammers here, and I'm here to present to you a new project Capcom are working on known as Word on the Street, where we keep you up to date in regards to the terminology used when talking about Street Fighter or fighting games in general. Some terms you'll be familiar with, whilst others you might not have heard of. But let us find out what the 411 is in Street Fighter V. Now there's a lot of information to absorb in this video, so feel free to pause and rewind the video at your own pace.
Now, let's begin!
Make your move.
Hey you, show me a real attack.
Anti-airs, or AAs for short, are attacks done from the ground with the intention of attacking an opponent who is in the air. Characters usually have at least one normal attack anti-air and one special attack anti-air. Normal attack anti-airs are generally easier to do execution-wise and help put the user at a comfortable position. But do be careful though, as there are moves in the game which are designed to counter these types of anti-airs. But what about special attack anti-airs? Special attack anti-airs are slightly more difficult to perform and sometimes come with benefits that normal attack anti-airs probably can't offer. All depends on the character. Special attack anti-airs have some sort of priority to airborne attacks and are generally more reliable than normal attack anti-airs. In most cases, they can even counter aerial options that change a character's jump arc. When picking a character to play in Street Fighter V, one of the first things you should do is find out what their anti-air options are. As they will save you from taking a considerable amount of damage. Anti-airs are extremely important at any level of Street Fighter, as it helps assert your control in a match. When picking a character to play in Street Fighter V, one of the first things you should do is find out what their anti-air options are, as they will save you from taking a considerable amount of damage. A cross-up is a given situation where you make it exceedingly difficult for the opponent to determine whether or not they should block left or right.
Go on! I'd do it if I were you.
When you hear the term cross-up, you automatically think of jumping attacks, as the most common situation involves you jumping over the opponent with the intention of hitting them as you pass over. When you successfully land a cross-up jumping attack, a visual indicator will pop up on screen stating that it connected. But cross-ups are not only associated with jumping attacks. You can also create a cross-up situation with certain grounded attacks.
One street. Dance for me. On your knees.
You just have to find a way to make them hit cross-up. This could mean jumping over the opponent in the process, or dashing through them. If you land a cross-up this way, then the visual indicator will not pop up on screen. In Street Fighter V, cross-up attacks are mainly assigned to either jumping light attacks or jumping medium attacks, with the exception of one or two characters having a cross-up heavy attack. And the best way to utilize them is by doing them after you knock down the opponent. As they'll be unable to move or take action for a short period of time. If you try to go for a cross-up jumping attack in open play arbitrarily, then there's a high chance that the opponent can anti-air the attempt. But at a particular angle, cross-up attacks can beat anti-air options. But this is situational and something you as a player have to work on. Cross-ups are really ambiguous. Think of them as another prevalent option that you have to mix in with your character's current option. Whether they're grounded options or aerial ones. What was once seen as a glitch is now just a natural part of Street Fighter. Reversals are game-changing and could be the pivotal moment in a match, as it could help gain the momentum. In Street Fighter V, if a move is done at the earliest time possible, then a visual indication will pop up on screen saying reversal. A reversal is when you do a move as an immediate reaction to your opponent's attack. In some cases, the reversal is done at what the game considers the most favourable time necessary to take advantage of the beneficial properties. This can be applied to numerous scenarios. After a character gets hit, when they exit their block animation, or right after they get up from a knockdown. You usually see these types of reversals with special attacks that have high priority. Please be aware that the reversal message will not appear on screen if the character does one of the following options on defense at the earliest time possible. A normal attack, a regular throw, or a backdash. The indicator only appears when special attacks EX special attacks, moves that involve the V system, or critical arts are performed. Reversals are designed to be used when the opponent is attacking, and they are all about the timing. The timing can be quite strict at times, but that depends on your choice of attack as well as the situation. Also remember that any grounded option done with reversal timing can be considered a reversal. The game just doesn't notify you every time you do something as a reversal. Counter hits are highly common in Street Fighter V, as they occur in almost every round. A counter hit is basically an attack that hits the opponent whilst they are in the process of doing an attack themselves. When you land a counter hit, you are rewarded with more damage, new combo possibilities, potentially additional effects. The additional effects differ from game to game, but think of counter hits as one of the many routes to scoring huge damage in fighting games. In Street Fighter V, outside of the traditional way of landing a counter hit, another opportunity to land one is by blocking an invincible reversal and then going for an attack during the move's recovery period. Certain moves leave a character in a counter hit state, not just invincible moves, so it is in your best interest to try and take advantage of that situation. Now when you go to punish the invincible reversal, the damage you inflict is slightly more than what you would get from a standard counter hit combo. This is a change that came about in the 4th season of Street Fighter V. One more thing to note is that if you go for a counter hit using a heavy attack, then you will cause the crush counter effect. This is a mechanic that is exclusive to Street Fighter V, which I will explain in a future episode. The majority of attacks in the game have the opportunity to connect as a counter hit, and the mileage you get from those certain counter hits is devastating. So you want to make sure you are the one landing the counter hit instead of being on the receiving end. In high-level Street Fighter, whiff punishing is something you see quite often and is something you learn to have a deeper appreciation for the more you watch the competitive side of the game. But before I elaborate on what whiff punishing is, allow me to explain what whiffing actually means in fighting games. A whiff is basically a move that completely misses the opponent, sometimes with the intention to bait the opponent. This information is standard. Now if your move completely whiffs and your opponent clips that move with their own attack, then this is classed as a whiff punish.
A wave is coming.
You mainly see this happen with grounded normal attacks, but whiff punishing doesn't only apply to normal attacks. You can whiff punish quite a few special attacks as well. Whiff punishing requires great situational awareness, things like spacing, good reactions, and anticipation. These are some of the things involved when whiff punishing. A lot of moves can be whiff punished. Some are harder to punish than others, but moves that have a long recovery period are generally easier to whiff punish, but they still take a bit of practice. You need to have a very deep understanding of your character's toolset, whether it be normal attacks or special attacks, and to find out what attacks you should be looking to whiff punish with, so that you can maximize the damage from the whiff punish, as well as create a situation which is conducive to the character. Whiff punishing isn't something which is learnt overnight. It will take a while to see some results, so head into the training room and get practicing.